Morning! Welcome to sunny Greece. Not. We didn't get to go. Not for the farm's fault. Just Zoe got like a really bad flu for like 2 days and was properly stuck in bed. It was on the night we was going to book it and we were just like, there's no point going if you feel that bad. She ain't been that sick for a long time, so we didn't get to go. I'm not sure whether it's a blessing or a curse really. I wish we'd just booked it before and then she had no choice, but then she would have ruined everyone's holidays on the plane because we've been pretty rough. But never mind, we're going to Dorset for 4 days, which I'm sure is just as good as Greece. We're going to send my passport off and try and go later in the summer. It's okay. Dorset's just going to be just as good. Anywho, going to get the sheep in. So we had our poo samples back from the vet and it turns out they've got a really high count of strawgall, some worm. So it needs a bit of attention, which I wasn't expecting, to be honest. I thought they looked pretty good. A few of them are showing clinical signs, so like clinical signs, technical term for got really pooey bums. I knew there was something a bit going on, but I didn't think they'd have that high a count of worm. Yeah, that's the job for the day. We get them in and do that. Also the ewes, we've done a sample of the ewes poo as well. And they've got, I can't remember. Whatever the white drench does, it treats them like I ain't got a clue, it's called something, but basically the ewes are getting a white drench so that the lambs don't pick that back off of them because the lambs have been treated for it. And the lambs are getting a yellow drench instead of using the Sidecting because I don't want to start throwing Sidectings around if we don't have to. And then we're going to do a reduction test in about a week's time, see if it's worked. And because I move my sheep every other day, they're following me rather than going that way. Right, shall we? Oh, we're both so like fluey. Oh. Fun fact about yellow wormers, pretty sure this is true. It's one of them ones you've really got to watch the dosage. You can actually kill them with it. It's quite toxic if it's overdosed. Go steady. They don't need very much of that at all. Probably going to stick some gloves on because there's a lot of ore floating about and sure going to meet. We're just marking a few, little red line across the shoulders. Because that worm we're using's got a 20-day withdrawal. And in 20 days they want to be gone really. We get a few milk lambs away. The price is very good. And we missed it a little bit last year, so farm policy, when they're £100, they want to go. You know, I was talking about my Millennium Blues and how much I like them. This is one of the tups. Look how good he is. He's absolutely solid. Look at the size of him. Because obviously the Beltex is quite small. You see some of these and they're absolutely tiny. They're just basically a Beltex with a blue face. He is an absolute, they're just enormous. The pair of them are just huge. Been really impressed with them. We haven't fed them anything. They've had as hard a winter as the ewes have had. We ain't had to look after them at all, so they're literally just completely grass and they just look the part. And they're really chill as well, like really, really relaxed. They've got that sort of Beltex chillness. They've just been perfect. Like I'm a real big fan of these, and it's nice to buy a ram that doesn't need like putting away at bed at night and feeding breakfast every day, being manicured and all that. It's a proper working tup. I've been talking to several people about breeding the wool off of sheep and things like that, and their take on it and what they've done and how they've had certain types and didn't get on with them and all that malarkey, right? The good thing about what we've got is we've got a lot of different sheep, mainly because of why we buy them. We just buy cheap, really. But it gives us quite a good insight into what performs quite well here. So we've almost tried every breed in 1 year. Now, I really want to get away from wool, I think. But it's so dry again. I just wonder if we're about to go into another drought. I mean, we've not had any rain after crying about the rain all spring. Probably the wettest spring I've ever had. It's gone into just dry. It's not rain now for probably 4 weeks. Got another 2 weeks, nothing on the forecast. But the sheep that performed the best for us last year, which was the worst drought in 50 years, were the Romneys and the Suffolk Romneys. Anything with a bit of Romney bred into them, which are also the woolliest sheep on the farm and the ones that require the most maintenance. For any of you who don't know what a Romney is, let me find one. That's a terrible example of one, so we'll just pretend that wasn't in it. I sold a bunch of these with lambs at foot, so I don't know how many we've got. Straight Romneys. There's a Suffolk Romney. There you go. That's a Romney over a Suffolk first cross. I actually think we've sold all the Romneys in this bunch. They were the best performing sheep, and I just think it just throws another spanner in the works, because moving forward, is this what we're going to have? Just torrential rain all winter and then just, that's it. No more, all summer. Oh look, there's a Romney, look. That's a good one. That's a good big Romney. That's a Texel Romney lamb on her. There's a lot to think about. Make sure you're checking your tups this time of year. Boys been fighting, they're bleeding on their heads. There. See them? Bleeding on the top of their heads. Flies lay eggs in that, and then the maggots hatch and burrow down into their head. Had that happen before, so make sure you're covering it up, blue spraying it, ectoflying it, whatever you got to do. Just make sure that you got that under control, because that is an expensive loss. How well my Texel's shedding though. Flashy boy. What a boy, eh? Do you want the good news or the bad news? Good news, we're nearly done. Bad news, imagine that. That absolute muppet down there just jumped and it literally just snapped in my hand. So I've only got one gun. I'm gonna have to shed the ewes off the lambs, worm the lambs, then worm the ewes or whatever. Imagine being in Greece right now. Yeah, sometimes I hate sheep. Fear not, my little YouTube friends. We've got one, although it needs a bit of a... Yeah. That is a lot better than having to do what I was about to do. Whew, I felt like it was never going to end. We got there. Annoyingly, the gate at the end, a few lambs have slipped under there and gone out in that field, so we're just going to open these gates up, run them in. Well done. Go on, go steady up the race, go on. You're all done. Go on, guys. Right, water. Rock salt. Have it. If anyone's any good at aluminium welding, might have a little bit of work for you. Breaker of things. Thanks for watching my YouTube and listening to my first world problems about wanting to go on holiday. Appreciate it. I know I've made a fuss about the holiday, but when you work 7 days a week, you need to like just sometimes get away, because if you ever try and take a day off, some idiot lets your sheep out or lets their dog kill all your sheep or something, and you end up having to deal with these things. Listen, no one's invincible. You've got to look after yourself upstairs. You've got to just break the habit and go away sometimes. So yeah, I was at that point where I just really needed a rest, and I needed to be far away enough from the farm that I couldn't work or do anything, and just things were out of my hands, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we'll get there. That's why I'm crying about it. Anyway, thanks for watching my YouTube. Couldn't do it without you.